Hello, all you wonderful degenerates. Welcome back to Base Damage. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're going to be looking over gushing over magical girls. I'm not going to be gushing over magical girls, but this Abigail lookalike sure as hell will. I don't know. No, it's not her. It's like someone else. Anyway, point being, I didn't really watch the anime for this. I've been planning to, but I saw how fucking degenerate it was, and I immediately was just like, I'm going to hold off. I'm going to wait. And now I get to look at it through this. I get to look at all the art, all the cultured stuff through this today. So let's break this down. This is for Weiss Schwarz Rose, for anyone who is unfamiliar with that. It is a more cultured version of Weiss Schwarz, focusing a lot on the ladies. Let's just put it that way. And for those who do not know where we're at, currently I'm looking on a Google document that was created by Kilawa TCG. I mentioned them in the last video when we were looking over Yuzusoft, which I'm going to come back to that point in a second here, because I realized something about it that I was like, oh no, I'm completely wrong on one particular thing from that. But point being, they did all the translation stuff for this. They do a lot of the translation stuff for Weiss Tea Time as well. Please go support them if you can. They have a Ko-fi or whatever, Ko-fi, whatever the hell it's called. Please go support them for doing all of these translations and helping me make videos by association because of that. So let's talk about this. So with Yuzusoft, the pictures were not as bad. With gushing over magical girls, they're okay for a little bit. Like you see what I mean by like Abigail lookalike right here. But you have some like this that kind of skirt the line. I'm not going to leave that on the screen too long. Once we get further into the video, I'm not really going to give a shit. But you have a lot of art that in here, it doesn't cross the line, but oh boy, does it walk the line. And I don't mean Johnny Cash. Anyway, the thing that I was incorrect about from Yuzusoft. So Yuzusoft was like visual novel based. So I don't know why, but in my brain where I saw same OS right here for the trait, I thought it meant like operating system or something, because I'm thinking visual novel, I'm thinking computers or something. So I didn't know what that meant. To my knowledge, gushing over magical girls has nothing to do with an operating system, nothing to do with computers. So I'm just going to assume that this means like same overall trait, or like it's whatever they have as their listed music trait, you know, like Love Live or Bang Dream, where 90% of them all focus on the same trait. So I'm assuming that's what it's more meaning. I don't know why my brain was like, I must have just been sleep deprived that day. I was apparently still fucking tired from Worlds, just because we stayed up till 6 a.m. talking about Worlds and watching and everything. By the way, all of those videos are now up on the channel. They are posted if you want to go see our reactions to everything that happened for Worlds. I just think it's awesome that we were able to record it, and I don't think Bushi I think Bushi immediately took down the VOD like as soon as it was over. They'll probably upload it on their own channel at some point, so you know, go check out Bushi's as well when they upload theirs. But point being, I was incorrect on the trait thing, and that video hasn't even come out yet. So I'm assuming people are going to be like, oh, actually, it doesn't mean that's the trait. So I'm certain there's people who commented on that video. On that video, when it comes out, by the time this one comes out, there'll probably be like a whole bunch of people in there going, actually, this is, you know, like whatever they mean for that trait thing. So I'm gonna do the same thing for Yuzusoft though. I'm gonna say OS trait just an overall blanket statement of whatever their overall trait is supposed to be. So let's get right into this. We've stalled long enough. I just ripped the band-aid, Cade. Gushing over magical girls. It is a full set. It has a trial deck, and I want to check something when I do get to the trial deck, because the trial deck has had a lot of repeating cards from the booster set, so we'll try to keep an eye out for that as we go along here. So the first one we have is Nero Alice. So very much like, kind of gives me the vibe, like I said, the vibes of like, I just said her name, Abigail from Fate Grand Order. But also kind of gives me, like when I hear Alice, there was like a Sinnoh Alice game or something like that kind of made me think of that. Anyway, for anyone who's also never watched one of my first impressions thing, I'm going to at least try to highlight every single double rare in each color and then just kind of glance over it. And I kind of need to glance through this set very quickly. So Nero Alice 0015, our first double rare. If all of your other characters are OS, this gets plus 1,000 power and the following ability. So it should be a 25. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, choose one of your other OS characters, rest it, move it to an empty back row slot. So your typical, what people refer to as clean cut, or you basically being able to rest another character and save it for a turn. Change. At the start of your climax phase, you can change this. If you do, choose a particular 00 Korisu, which is number 6 coming up, and place it on stage in this from your waiting room. Place it on stage in this card's former slot. Is that going to matter? Because, I mean, like, you would think the turn... Because that's a climax phase. Meaning you wouldn't be able to use the clean cut effect. So I guess it's kind of a multiple options here. Because you can either do the clean cut, or you could change it into whatever the Korisu is in case you want to get rid of a specific thing. So we'll keep an eye out on number 6 coming up in a second here, Cade. Magia Sulfur, 328k. If all... See, I don't get this. If all of your characters are OS, this gets 2k. She counts herself for this. Why not just leave her at 10k and just move on? I guess it's because, like it says, it has 3 soul right here. Is that the drawback of having the 3 soul, is that you have to start off with less power? Even though this fucking outright makes her be a normal 10k anyway. I hate when fucking sets do this, where it's like, oh, you start off really low, but if all of your characters are the exact same fucking trait, you get up to a normal amount of power anyway. It doesn't matter, like, what the starting amount is, whether you have the 3 souls or not, if you're just going to bump them up anyway. The only time this isn't going to matter is if you had something that removes traits. The first thing that I can think of, and I don't know about on the JP side, but at least on the English side, I can think of, and I think this might have only affected the deck. A future me, if you want to correct. There's not that many cards in the realm of removing traits, but I thought of, there was a backup from Konosuba. It was like an aqua backup or something that you could pay an extra cost to make it so all of your opponent's characters, like, in the deck lost their traits. I know it at least affected in the deck. It might have affected on field too. Like I said, future me, I don't. Please feel free to post it if you want. But I don't even like the thing from JoJo, the Purple Smoke or whatever the fuck it was called. Father Pucci's stand climax combo removed, like, names, but it didn't remove traits. So, The removing all traits, so this thing doesn't gain its full 2k power from that buff, at least in the English, I can't think it's really going to fucking matter. At least nothing like meta that's going to fucking require it. Maybe in JP there's something else that's like godly that removes traits. I don't know. Whatever. When this is placed on stage from hand, heal 1. We've dabbled on this long enough. Climax combo once per turn. When this attacks, if you have the choice trigger in play, you can pay 1. Reveal the top card of your deck. If it's an OS character, stand it. Okay. And she has 3 souls. So, I mean, with the choice trigger, you're swinging for 4, possibly 4 twice, depending on what your trigger is. Okay, cool. All right, moving on, because I've dabbled on that long enough. We have one more double rare. It's this other Nero Alice, a 3/2/9/5. When this attacks, choose one of your OS characters. It gets 15 till end of turn. You see, this is a little bit different because it can give it to itself or something else. You can make this an 11, 15 plus, 11, or you can give it to someone else. Cool. Once per turn during the turn, this is placed on stage from hand. Okay, it's a Musashi. When this card's damage is canceled, mill 1, burn X to your opponent. X is equal to the level of the milled card plus 1. So very, very classic there. Very good. All right, so the rest of these are rares. I'm just going to kind of glance through, especially because of how much time I spent on the fucking second card. So number 6 isn't coming up just yet. This is 4. So we have, this is the one that it can change into. So we have a little bit. All right, so Korisu, which is just her, right? Okay, so, different name. So magical girl name is probably Nero Alice, and Korisu is probably her non-magical girl name. She gains 2k. She'll be a 3k. Placed on stage from hand. You can discard. Oh, okay. This is focused on the change trait. You can discard one of your OS characters. Choose another character, or choose a character in your waiting room with change in its ability added to hand. Okay, so actually, now that I'm realizing it, that makes much more sense because it's magical girls. You're changing into like a new form. Okay, yeah, that fits. So we're on theme. Next is Magia Sulfur. Beginning of climax phase. Choose a character, give it 500. Brainstorm, pay 1 rest. This mill for each climax. Salvage a character. Very nice. All right, so this is the currency that changes. Oh, so you can just swap back and forth between this and the Narrow at the start of climax phase each turn. Let's see. When this is placed on stage from hand or by the change, you can pay 1, search your deck for up to 1 climax swapper. Okay. Search your deck for up to 1. Oh, okay. It just clicked in my brain. Okay. Search your deck for a climax, add it to hand, choose a climax in hand, show it to your opponent, swap them, shuffle your deck afterwards. So what you can do, because this is at the beginning of your climax phase, you can do this, swap out to the climax swapper, get the climax, and because it's at the beginning of your climax phase, you can still play the appropriate climax. There we go. Okay, I like that. And then she, like I said, she can change back into the other as well. Okay, that's interesting. So if you like milled the rest, the clean cut or something, you could still summon this and do the clean cut by changing out into it. Really cool. Okay. Magia Sulfur. On death, pay 1, put the top card of your deck into clock, salvage back an OS character. Okay. More Magia Sulfur. Yeah, we're encroaching here, kids. She gains 1,000, and she can do Twin Drive. Okay, cool. Narrow Alice, placed on stage from hand. Okay, so we haven't done the climax combo. So turn she's played, she gets 15, so she'll be a 6. With the choice trigger, she'll be 7. It does matter because, okay, so when the battle opponent becomes reversed, so that 7k does matter and might need some more. Reveal the top 2 cards of your deck, place them on the bottom of your deck in any order. If there was a climax amongst them, choose up to 1 OS character in waiting room, add it in hand. Then draw up to 1 card. So you still get 2 off of this. Or you get to draw 1. If it wasn't a climax, do you just not gain anything? If not, okay. If not, you still get to salvage something. Okay, so the only thing that matters is if you reveal a climax off of that, you would get to draw 1 additional card. Otherwise, you get to salvage regardless as long as you reverse. Okay, that makes much more sense. Near LS 3/2. So you can also change into this with something else. Heal 1 on attack if you have the choice. This gains 3k, so it'll be 14 because of the 3k in the choice. 1k1. When this card's damage is canceled, burn 1. Just in general. Okay, cool. And once again, there's something that can change into it. Now, is that another level 3 that changes into it based off of how we saw the 0 swapping, or is it a level 2 that summons into this level 3? So it's weird because change effects just like feel so foreign now in the current meta. So I realize I shouldn't be, how do I put this? Even with the statement that I said earlier of like, oh, Konosuba has the trait removal shit and all that stuff. I realize you're probably going to be playing this against other Rose decks. Not so much, like, there was talks about some locals allowing you to mix in being able to play Weiss Schwarz Rose stuff against regular Weiss Schwarz stuff. So if you do that, you got to worry. But if you're doing like a Rose specific tournament, then you don't have to worry about it. Okay, anyway. Then we have Nera Alice. It's still her, right? Yeah. It's Nera Alice. Okay, cool. On attack, give a character power pump. Level and a level 0 or lower stock bomb. Okay, cool. Magia Sulfur. If your opponent has an octopus character, this cannot attack. Okay. This is clearly like meant to like go up again. It's like the fucking what is it called? The thing that Joe was gonna bring. The fucking Milky Holmes, thank you. My brain was like detective. The Milky Holmes thing, where it's like you have to have this other specific character across to do like rock, paper, scissors or something. Your opponent's not going to have an octopus character more than likely, unless they're going up against, probably there's another Magia character, there's probably another Gushing Over Magical Girls card in here that has the octopus trait. Unless there's like a way to give them a character. Or there's like another weird set that has octopus coming up. I don't know. The other thing is you can't play events or backups from hand because she's oversized. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right, Near Alice. A 1/0 that has a soul trigger. Something to keep an eye on there. Because choice triggers, they matter. They do matter. More power pump. Okay. A backup, a 2K backup with the Leafa condition of on play of the backup, reveal the top card of deck if it's the operating system character, add it to hand and discard a card. Okay, cool. Korisu. A 1/1 assist. Huh? Okay. Act. Rest this. Choose one of your other Magia Baizer. Number 51 coming up. Like, we're a ways off. Send 2 markers underneath it to the waiting room. If you did send 2, you get to heal 1. Okay, so we get some synergy later on. Okay. Nira Alice. Really, really cute overall outfit right there. 1/1 anti-change stock bomb. Okay, cool. Very good, very good. 1/1. Oh, okay, so this is like a really good standby target. It's your typical, like, becomes a 7/5 with character encore. Okay. A 2/0. It's a level 2/0 cost. Has a soul trigger. Just saying. Continuous assist in front of it so whatever in front gains 1,000 power. Just constant. Okay. That's tight. Let's see. Ooh, okay. So we have more change stuff. She looks mad as all fuck. So we have a level assist, Magia Sulfur. At the start of your climax phase, you can sack this to summon the 2/1 Calruco under, place it on this card's former slot. I can words today. Oh, this is a level 3 Slayer. So on attack, if you're attacking level 3 or higher, this gains 6k, so it'll be a 13 minimum. But then you can also swap back into this, depending on which one you need. That's really cool. Being able to swap accordingly is very nice, giving you the extra options and stuff. Okay. Korisu. She's just like cheering on the Dodgers. And she's like, Gura told me to cheer. Anyway. Is that bad to say now? 2/1, so okay. Okay. If you have a particular Magia Biaser and the Korisu before they did the healing, so if you have those particular 2 cards that work with each other on the field anyway, this gets minus a level in hand. At the start of your climax phase, you can pay 2, pitch 1, sack this to summon the 3/2 Nero Alice. That was number 10. Okay, so it was this one with the climax combo and the heal. Okay, cool. So it is a level 2 that summons it. All right. Yeah, okay. And that is it for the yellow. We're into the choice triggers. That is scary as fuck. That's okay. Yeah, I don't need to watch this show. All right, so we're in the greens. Let's look at the double rares. 0015 Kiwi. When this is placed on stage from hand, if all of your characters are OS, you can discard an OS character. Search your deck for up to 1 character with change or a specific Magia Bizer, the number 51 that keeps coming up for multiple effects. So you either grab that specifically, which it works with a lot of other cards, so this is going to be ideal for that, or any character with change, which seems to be quite a few cards. So, all right. Act. Sack this, discard a card to salvage back a character. Very good. This is just a really good plussing card overall. Okay, cool. Leopard. 1/04K. If all of your characters are OS, this gets 1,000. When this card's battle opponent is reversed, if you have the gold bar, you can salvage a character. Okay, so it has to reverse, so that does matter. So she only gets up to a 6k. So be mindful of that. And I guess even for the whole reversing thing, my statement from before of it depends if you're playing this in a rose-only format or a mixed format. You got to worry about other stuff that's going to be really big, bouncing out, whatever. So far with Rose, there doesn't seem to be a huge, like, it doesn't seem to be egregious in terms of like, I have all these different standby decks that I have to worry about. I have all these other cards that bounce back to hand that I have to worry about. In a Rose only format, this still seems very fair in my mind, but it just really depends on the format you're playing so far. And it does have a change to turn into another 1/0 Leopard, so we will have to see what that is. Number 37. So number 51 and number 37 are like two that we need to definitely check out. Loco Musica. Sounds like Top Musica from One Piece. Place on stage from hand. That is it for the 2 double rares. Okay, so we're in the rares now. I'm just going to blitz through. This is interesting, actually. So typically with Twin Drive, you have a pay a cost thing so that you don't end up getting like too much extra stock. You basically end up getting the same amount of stock overall. But this is discard a card to trigger check twice. Interesting. I think I've seen that once before maybe, but it's not common. It's usually pay a stock. 001K. This on play lets you grab back a specific event. Number 46. Okay. And it's a level 0 clock bomb. Level assist. When you use a change, you can pay 1, rest this. If you do, all of your characters currently on stage get 2k power. Interesting. Okay, no, like that's good. You like to buff them, like buff the change characters and stuff. What is that face? I'm gonna take a drink real quick. What the actual hell is going on in that face? But whatever. Is this your O face? I don't know. 329k. If you have 2 or less climaxes in waiting room, this gets minus a level in hand. Haven't seen that in a hot minute. During your turn, if you have another OS character. So during your turn, that's whatever. So she'll become a 12k. It's really big. When this is placed on stage from hand, look it up to 3. Choose a card amongst them. Add to hand. Put the rest back on top of the deck in any order. That might matter. You get to pick what your triggers are going to be. So that means you should always look at 3 in case you need to know what your like triggers are going to be. Or even we had the yellow one that could restand depending on if it was an OS character or not. So you can make certain that you can swing and have specific trigger amounts, all that jazz. So really cool. 3/2 Leopard. This one is kind of crazy. 3/2 10k. Can't side. On play or change heal. Gold bar, battle opponent becomes reversed. You can. She gets 4k power as well. Wow. So she'll be a 15. Battle opponent becomes reversed. Burn 1. Okay, cool. 00500. Global 5. When you trigger a climax, you can discard 1 to look at up to 2 cards from the top of the deck. Choose a card amongst them. Add to hand. Send the rest to waiting room. So gold bar. It lets you pay out the gold bars as well. So. All of your other characters with Utena or Magia Baiser in its name get 500 power. And then during your turn, everyone gets 500. Okay, so basically a level 0 that could give a global 1,000. Very nice. Is another borderline, but we're good. During your opponent's turn, if this is a marker, gets a level and 15. On play, top check if it's an OS or a particular event. Number 46 coming up again. Put it face up underneath this card as a marker. Okay. A 0045, it's just so big that it's like, choose one of your opponent's front row characters, it gets 3k. So if you go first, you could play this and not have to give anything a buff, which is just great. So, Loco Musica and Leberblum. Lieber? I wonder if it's meant to be German. I don't know. Yuri girls. Free 2k backup. Simple. Leopard. This is 37. Once again, talking about number 51, Magia Baiser. If you have that, this gains 2k, so it should be a 6k constant. Start a climax phase. If you can change, pay 1, sack this. Oh, this summons the other Leopard double rare that we were talking about. Okay, so this is what it swaps into. So if you don't have the climax, if you have the climax, you can make certain to swap out into the ones for the climax combo. But if you don't, you can swap to this, which is on attack. You get to top check 2. You get to pick your trigger, and then this gains 2k power till end of turn. Okay, cool. It just gets lots of. It's a level 2 Slayer. Gets lots of buffs. Can become a 12k level 1. Very nice. Sister Giganto. 10. 104, but for each marker underneath it. Also, she gets an extra 500 for each back row, so she'll be like a 5k vanilla. But then as soon as you start getting characters reversed, you may look at the top card of your deck. If you do, place it underneath this card as a marker. I prefer grabbing the markers from Waiting Room, but it's whatever. Vanilla Matama. Okay. Kiwi. 1k, or not 1k, 1 assist. This also works with that same Magia Baiser that gets markers. Instead of healing, this one can search and give a character 2k buff for the turn. Okay. Matama. For each of your other OS characters, this gains 1,000, so it'll be 10k. And it can also change out as well. It doesn't list a specific card to change into. It doesn't change out. It only you can only change into this. But then you also like pay for its own stock, which is whatever. Leopard that on play reveal the top card of your deck. If it's an OS, add it to hand and discard a card. And it also changes. Pay 2, pitch 1, sack this to summon the 3/2 Leopard we mentioned before. Okay. Loco Musica. Here we go. Climax combo. 2 or more other OS. This gains 15. Ooh, during this card's battle, your opponent cannot play events from hand. They can still play normal backups, so rest counters matter. But if they have an event that's like this, if you have like a Darkness Plan style event that's like, oh, you can't deal damage to me. Can't do it with her. Oh, she's Clock Shoe. Oh, that's great. Sorry, I had to stretch. Heal 1 and battle opponent becomes reversed if you have the gold bar in play. Send that character to Clock. Just, alright, guaranteed damage. Which very much feels like Vanilla Weiss at this point, but I mean, it's whatever. I say Vanilla Weiss, but like the Weiss meta of yesteryear. Or like 8 years ago or whatever. 3, 2, 10k. Battle opponent becomes reversed. You can pay 1, burn 1. Okay. Alright. The event. This event was brought up a couple times. Number 46. If you don't have a character with Magia in its name, this can't be played from hand. This card can be played without meeting color. Oh, okay. So you can run this in any deck. Doesn't matter. But you do have to have a character with Magia in its name. Okay. Okay, it's your typical, like, what people refer to as, like, the drum barrel, but it's also a counter event, so you can do this on your opponent's turn. Look it up to 4, choose an OS character, add it to hand, send the rest to Waiting Room, and then, obviously, this goes to Waiting Room. Okay, cool. Another event. Was it this one? I'm assuming this is probably the more generic, like, one that could be used with stuff, but there were other cards that mentioned events as well, so maybe it's this. Rest one of your characters with Loco Musica in its name, and one of your characters with Leberbloom in its name. Those characters will not stand during your next stand phase, and if you have 2 or less memory and you rested 2, send this to memory. Oh, okay. So, at the start of your main phase, it's meant to take a turn to do some other, like, summoning effects for, like, the Leberbloom and Loco Musica from before. Number 45, which was this one. I don't think this is worth it, me personally, because this is just the on reverse pay 1, burn 1. It's an 11 tops. I mean, I'm certain the other, depending on what Loco Musica and Leberblooms you have, like, in back row for this effect, may matter. But I don't think that matters. I mean, it gets, like, an extra 2k power for a turn, so I don't think it's worth it. I don't know. That's just me. Go bar with explosions, go bar with idols singing. All right, here we go. Number 51, Magia Baiser. This is the card that like 10 other fucking cards have mentioned. 0015. The first red double rare. How many double rares do we have? 3 red ones. Okay. Also, I haven't mentioned it for this video, but very, very nice looking SP so far. When you may pay the cost. When you pay the cost of your character's change effects, you may put 1 marker underneath this card instead of 1 stock. Okay. When you use a change, if there's 1 or less cards in your market area, Choose one card in your waiting room, play it under these. Okay, so basically you want to do the changes with the level 0s like early on so that you can go ahead and get markers underneath this. But otherwise, it's still a brainstorm. And also just its particular name. There were a lot of cards that were like, oh, you have to have a specific this specific Magia Bizair in order to be able to like do multiple effects. So flip over, pay 1, rest this, mill 4 for each climax, salvage back a character. So really good brainstormer in general, but also, like I said, its name matters for a ton of effects. It gets markers, which could be compression, as well as you can use the change stuff in order to be able to get to pay that instead of stock, which does matter. All right, 329K Magia Magenta. Jesus, that SP. 4 more operating system characters. I said that again. OS characters give a minus a level in hand. During your turn, if all of your characters are OS, this gains 2K. On play, heal 1. So early play becomes an 11. During your turn, heal 1. Okay. 3-2 Magia Bizair. 9-5. When this is placed on stage or by change, heal 1. When this attacks, if you have the door climax in your climax area and all of your characters are the same trait, you discard 1 to burn 2. At the start of your Encore step, this is the first change in here we've seen that does during Encore, not climax. If this is rested, you can send it to summon a particular 3/3, a 3-cost Utena in your waiting room in this card's former slot. So that's number 73, so that's 20 cards away. But that's big. Something to keep in mind. All right, so now we're into the rares. This changes into like 3 different characters. Okay. It can summon a Magia Bizair coming up, the 1/1 Kiwi or the 1/1 Korisu. Those 1/1s, I think those were the ones that worked with the level 0 Brainstormer to like send the markers to either heal or search. So this can turn into those. On play, pitch a climax, salvage. On play, pitch that specific 1/0 event to salvage as well. Interesting. So this is actually really good. Okay. What the fuck is that? These faces, man. Okay, sorry. I was just like, what are these? Like, this is just smug AF. This is just, I'm dead inside. This is just me. This is just me every weekend. Every like Monday. Anyway, place on stage from hand, discard a card, reveal the top card of your deck if it's a level. Okay, if it's your typical like top check, salvage back based off the level of the revealed card. Okay. So I'm also looking over. We're actually making really good time so far, despite my rants. 1/145, level assist. Changes into another a 2/1 Magia Bizair. Number 59, so that's in 2 numbers. We're just gonna go ahead and check it. It's this one. Okay, so 2/1. Okay, so this is a anti-change backup. 2,500 backup, but pay to sack a character for the anti-change to send it to their waiting room. Okay, cool. The 2/1, this can be changed into 15, global 15 to OS. Start of your climax phase, you can pay a cost, choose the 3/2. Okay, so this is what summons into the 3/2. Okay. And this you can rest to give to use the markers that the Magia Bizair gets to burn for 1. And this has 2 soul for some reason. All right, to each their own. I guess that's the 2 soul is you're trying to summon into the 3/2, but in case you can't change into it for whatever reason, you at least have 2 soul to swing with, I guess. Utena. Ooh. Okay. It's a stock shuffle. It's a stock swap shuffle. Shuffle into the deck and not like just send to waiting room. So it's a 2/1 on play, pay 2 to do the stock shuffle. Okay. Front row center gets the top check. You get to pick your trigger. Which this could matter. This could matter for the one that needs to top check a particular card to restand. Okay. Start of your encore. Sack the door to salvage back something. Okay. Just extra little bonus there. Summons this magenta. Okay. Magic magenta. And it could just swap out between these two, basically, depending on whether you want to give something a power or if you want to swing with more soul at level 0. But once again, having the level 0s that go ahead and do some change effects get you some markers underneath your Magia Bizir. That's very fair. Taking a drink real quick. This is a Climax Hopper. Oh, you can also mill 3 on play. Okay, cool. And just the, oh, don't look at my skirt, but I'm going to kick you. Just funny. Ooh, okay, so this is... Hold on, wait. Oh, there's like 2 different Climax Swappers. It's like, okay, you have a Climax Swapper that mills, or you have a Climax Swapper that makes your opponent say, fuck your memory. Like, okay. Magi Magenta... changes... does it change into... It changes into this 1-0. It's a Taige clone, which is referencing a Kantai collection character. 1045 for each of your other OS characters against 500, so it becomes a 1065. It's like literally mirroring that. Battle opponent becomes reversed. Salvage a character and then discard a card. So you don't have to have like a climax combo for it, but it also is like vanilla stats, so kind of matters. Climax combo. Okay, so this is kind of neat. During your climax phase, when the door gets played, if this is in your front row and you have another operating system, choose one cost 0 or lower OS character in waiting room, place it on stage in any slot. This is an interesting combo because you could go ahead and grab the 0. If you somehow haven't gotten the Brainstormer Magia Bizir, you could summon that to back row. You could summon another copy of this. You could summon other things to the back row. There's a lot that you can do with this. You could summon the Taige clone up here. There's a lot that you could do with this. I kind of like this. A 208k vanilla with one soul, no crit trigger. Okay. Battle opponent, level 2 or higher battle opponent becomes reversed. Blind stock, meh. A 2/2, 6k. So this looks like it would definitely be a standby target. Becomes a 10k. Your typical it becomes a 10k with character encore. Yikes. Okay, so this is the 3/3 that changes from the 3/2 Magia Bizir. On attack, if you have another OS character, pay 1, discard a copy of her to heal 1. On attack, pay 6. If you do, deal 5 damage. During your opponent's turn, when the damage you take is not canceled, if this is in your front row, look at the top. Put it on top of your deck. Okay, so it's also only a 2 soul. It is a 3/3, 11k, but it is only a 2 soul, not a 3 soul. But you can also just cheese this in because standby shit. So, whatever. 1/0. Lets you do some level down shenanigans. And I say standby targets, but I didn't see a single fucking standby in red. I just realized that. There's classic standby targets, but nothing. Ooh, are we going to get another set? That's the question there. I guess I think they confirmed a season 2 for this. Whatever. All right. We're almost done. We are in the blues. Only 2 double rare blues. 001k, Loco Musica, and Liberblum. So we do have to worry about, there was some of this in another color, so we have some of these in blue as well. If this is in your front row, at the start of your climax phase, if this is in your front row, and all of your characters are the same trait, choose one of your characters. It gets 1,000 power and twin drive, the pay 1 stock twin drive for this turn. At the start of your opponent's attack phase, you can move this to an empty front row slot. So, and it's a free runner. Cool. You just give somebody the twin drive, which is kind of nice. 1045, Magia Azul. During your turn, this gains 1,000, so it should be a 55. With the pants in play, should be a 65. When you play the pants, if you have another OS character. Choose one of your OS characters. It gets the ability when the battle opponent becomes reversed, salvage back. A lot of like on reverse salvage and stuff. So very much feels like vanilla Weiss, but a vanilla Weiss with a bit more spice and not just in the card art, if that makes sense. 15. At the start of your encore step, you can sack the pants to salvage something. Cool. Brainstorm, pay 1 rest, this mill 4 for each climax salvage. All the brainstormers have been salvaged so far. No searching, which is weird. Even the plussing engines have been salvage stuff, no searching whatsoever. We're trying to phase out searching effects, cans. It's too powerful. 002K. Place on stage. Sent from stage to waiting room. I can read. Pay 1. Put the top card of your deck into clock. Hook it up to 3. Add a character amongst them to hand. Okay. Magia Azul. We have a level swapper. Okay. So it's a global 500 and arrest those to exchange a card in level zone with a OS character in a waiting room. Which is specifically character. You can't put events there. Interesting. Let's see. The voyeurism card. All of your other 1/0 Matama get 1500 power and the spectator trait. She just likes to watch, guys. But also character encore. Rest this, give a character 1000 power. Okay. Leberbloom. Bloom? I'm not certain how I'm supposed to be pronouncing this. Like I said, didn't watch the fucking anime. It's whatever. On attack, choose one of your OS characters. It gets 15. Lets you move your opponent's characters. Okay. Magia Azul. Place on stage from hand, get up to 3. Choose an event. Show it to your opponent. Add it to hands. And the rest of winning room. Okay. And then discard a card afterwards. Place on stage from hand. Okay. Finally, a searching effect. I say finally. I probably did see another one. It's just not been as prolific. On play, you can discard an OS. Or you can discard a copy of herself to search a specific 2/1 event. Okay, cool. 002K VATS. Okay. It's a on play or on death. Pay 1, pitch 1 to search your deck. Okay. They heard me talking shit, guys. They heard me say, why are there any searching effects? And they gave me like 2 back to back. Like, okay, cool. On death, pay 2, salvage back. Okay. Top card changes into a Magia Azul number 90 coming up, and his character encore. Lord in Nome. Let's see. If you have less hand than your opponent, this gets 4K. That just seems like bad choices. I don't fucking care. On play, pay 2, pitch 1. Choose up to 3 level 0 or lower characters in your waiting room. Place them on stage in separate slots. Okay, so she just kind of summons out goons to attack. She just kind of does that, and it's just like, cool, summon the goons. Or grab back any, like, your brainstormer. You get the Magia Bizair out, just saying, whatever. Let's see. Oh, this was the 90. So this turns into this. During your turn, start of your opponent's attack phase. If you have a specific thing, you can swap out. So you can swap to this. Oh, because this says when it's frontal attack. So you can specifically change into this offensively, but on your opponent's turn, change into this, which is very nice. Okay, cool. And then you'd be able to do the top check shenanigans. Memory Kick, Leberbloom. A Lord in Nome assist. I feel it would be fun, actually, even though the whole having like less cards than your opponent, less hand than your opponent seems like a bad idea, but it happens. Like a whole deck based around Lord in Nome just seems funny to me. Also, assist. When you trigger a climax, discard a climax salvage. Sorry, I realized I didn't state that. Climax combo. This can turn into the 3/2 Magia Azul. You could also salvage back if you discard. This is the Ajim Azul that it gets summoned. Different outfit. Kind of cool. Nemo! We found him! Her, whatever, 216k. All your gives a global 1,000. Summons a particular Matama, number 42, which is like way back. Let's see. 329k for each of your other OS. This gains 500. So it can become an 11. Sorry for yawning. You can become an 11 if you have a full field. If you summon it from hand or by the effect of a particular 2/1 event, you can heal one. During this card's battle, when damage you take is not cancelled, pay 2, pitch 1, deal the same amount of damage back to your opponent. Very Darkness-esque there. 3/2, 10k. Draw 2, pitch 1 on play. On attack if you have a gold bar. This is a blue card working off of a gold bar. Okay. And you have to have another specific Loco Musica. Deal 4 damage to your opponent. And then choose one of your opponent's front row characters who gets negative 2k power. Okay, that's actually kind of interesting there. The 2/1 event, if you have 3 or less OS characters, this can't be played. So you have to have 4 characters. Sack the specific number 85 Magia Azul to summon, to choose any one character with Azul in its name in your waiting room on stage. I like that it's from the waiting room instead of from the fucking hand. That happens too much. And we have pants triggers. Only pants. Sorry, we can't ban pants, Guro. Alright, so that is going to be it for the booster set. So we're going to slide over here to the trial deck and the PRs. So already this is different. This Nero Alice is different. I'm just going to go through because with the Yuzusoft one, there was a lot of card effects that were just the same exact card in the trial deck. Now this does say TD exclusive, so whereas this does not. So this is, I think this is the same thing from the booster set, but this is specific. On play, pay 2, bounce back an opponent's character. On play, pay 1, pitch 1, salvage back a OS character, and give another character 1,000. Okay. So I can just kind of go through this really quick and see if there's any other TD exclusives like this one. Place on stage from hand. You can pay 1, put the top card of your deck in a clock. Search your deck for a level 1 or lower character. Very nice. Add it in hand. Okay, so you get the Ricky in the trial deck and the Drop Salvager in the trial deck so far. Okay. Any other TD exclusive? So the TD also comes with that one? Okay. I don't see anything else with trial deck exclusive. Okay, we do. 3/2. Becomes an 11. Draw 2, pitch 2. Put the top card of deck into stock. Whatever. But if you pay it out immediately, it's whatever. On attack, pay 3, burn 1. Okay, cool. That's it. Now, that should be it. And these are all the promos, the full arts and stuff like that. Very nice. Oh, we do have a couple chibi promos. On play, pitch a card to grab back an event. To grab back a specific green event. Number 46 was the Drum Barrel clone. Level 0 reverser. On attack, top check. If it's a character, burn 1. It can also change. And then just a full art version of the Drum Barrel event. Alright, that is going to be it. We're gushing over Magical Girls. We are no longer gushing. Stop gushing, guys. I swear. Interesting. I kind of stand by what I said before, and it totally depends on the format that you're in. This feels like vanilla Weiss with a little bit of extra spice. I didn't mean for it to rhyme. I'm a poet and don't know it. But I kind of stand by that. Like, if you are just playing against other Rose decks, and I realize interspecies reviewers may be the most busted thing on the face of the fucking planet. I don't know. Maybe it beats like Overlord and all these other decks that we got to worry about right now. It just says, but it tells Bunny Girl Senpai to go fuck herself. I don't know. Maybe the other two, which I'm not going to look at just yet, even though we do have the things for them down here for Harukaze and interspecies reviewers is down here. But I'm going to wait a little bit before I look at them. We're getting Harukaze next month, because this is May when I'm recording this one now. We get that next month, and interspecies reviewers is like August or something. So right now, it doesn't feel egregious. It doesn't feel like overpowered. It doesn't feel too crazy. So I'm curious if they're trying to like take a step back and kind of analyze, like, maybe they're just trying to analyze the effects better. They may also make it so they want it to be a bit more fair, like a rose only format. This would be considered more fair, as opposed to putting it in with some of the other bullshit that we got to deal with. Like, you're having fucking standby targets without any standby whatsoever, which is just kind of weird to me. Like, very plainly evident, like, standby targets, the 1-1s, the 2-2s. And it's not like we haven't had those before, but they definitely weren't as evident before standby came around. So, I don't know. I like it, but also, damn if this art isn't borderline. Like, be very careful. If you somehow play this in a mixed tournament, be very, very careful that they don't, like, try to kick your ass out. I don't know. It's weird. I see some effects that are really neat. I see the synergy with a lot of other effects, and I enjoy that. I don't mind seeing synergy, like, if you have this specific brainstormer, or if you have this specific back row combination, the 2-1 event that's like tap these 2 specific characters to summon something next turn. I don't mind that. At least as long as it fits thematically, I really don't care. Nothing seems like underwhelming, but nothing seems overwhelming either. There's a lot of stuff that is very, very much like, there's a lot of stuff that's on brand for, like, fitting the theme of the set. And maybe if I watched the show, more stuff would feel on brand for it. Like the whole octopus thing. I didn't see a single other fucking character in here that had octopus. So unless there's like octopus characters and interspecies reviewers, that one character doesn't have a fucking negative to her name. Like, it's just funny to me. It's whatever, but that's gonna do it. I'm interested. I still want to pick up cards from Rose. Obviously, the main thing I want to pick up is interspecies reviewers when it drops, but I'm kind of curious on the Harukaze cards as well. We'll see. Yeah. This was Gushing Over Magical Girls. My name's Cade. Feel free to like, comment, all the cringy YouTuber shenanigans, and we'll see y'all on the flip side. Stay based.